and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the toy news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you on this special edition 4th of July America 250 toy news here. And Todd, I'll never forget America 200, that 200th anniversary, you and I, that lake house up there in North Michigan, those girls from Hermosa Beach. Ooh, wild times with me and Todd back in the day. Can't believe that was 50 years ago, Todd. Can't believe it was 50 years ago. But here we are today on 4th of July. For those that celebrate, hopefully you're enjoying your 4th of July festivities. Hopefully you're not blowing your fingers off. Always have a friend come back after 4th of July. Todd, you know what I'm talking about. Coming missing a digit. And I go, fireworks safety. It's important, folks. It's important. Todd knows all about it too. But we got a huge supersized edition of the toy news this week. So much going on. I'm actually shocked how much toy news we have to talk about. Going to be a long one, so settle in with a beverage, maybe a bomb pop or something like that. Who knows? We're going to break it all down. But first, got to thank our friends over there at Jay'sToysAndGames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock item. A lot of stuff in Jay's tomorrow in the toy, or the weekly purchases, more like it tomorrow. A lot of pickups at Jay's over the last couple of weeks. A lot of you guys and gals saving some big money at Jay's, like myself. And if you're in their market of their stores, their 3 brick-and-mortar retail locations, 10% off this weekend as well. Gonna have to go do a little dabbling myself to see what all the fuss is about with that one as well. So we'll see where that ends up going. Patreon this month. It is a new month. It is July, and we're giving away all the face paint over there on Patreon this month. It is Papa Shango Ultimate Warrior Ultimate Edition 2-pack. That will go to one of the Patreon members over there. So check over Patreon, follow the rules, all that fun stuff. Just posted the June giveaway video over there as well. And speaking of Patreon, right now, the latest episode of The Kyle Peterson Show, 6-7 episode 67, is up. And Todd, you loved that one. You were sitting watching from the other room, or you're listening from the other room with a glass. That's what he was doing. We had some fun locker room talk, all kinds of ramblings of a madman as usual. Angie told all about the showers in the locker room and all the girls and what they were up to. It was a wild thing, Todd. So check out episode 67 of The Kyle Peterson Show every single Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, videocast on YouTube as usual, or early for Patreon members right there. And speaking of the 4th of July, speaking of America 250, almost everybody has a sale going on. Ringside has a sale going on. Check that one out. Obviously, Jay's I talked about. Entertainment Earth, link in the description down below. Save that link and support the channel. They have 20% off most of the in-stock action figures. We also saw Pro Wrestling Tees with USA 26. You can save 20% over there at Pro Wrestling Tees. Pick up a Kyle Peterson t-shirt. Pick up a Terry Funk t-shirt. Well, while you're at it, a gruesome twosome if there ever was one. But tons of sales going on. So if you're looking for deals, you're playing that long game, this is a good weekend to look for some stuff. And we'll talk more of that in the toy news right here. But let's get after it. Let's start it off. Let's talk a little WWE to begin with. And news came out this week. Walmart shippers for SummerSlam starting to hit the stores. We've seen those in the past. Pallet drops. They got Ultimates. They got main events. They got Elites. They got Monday Night Wars and Superstars. Looks like Jesse the Body, the Ventura over on some of those and all the other ones. The recent Superstars we've all been struggling to get. Have an opportunity now if you can find your shipper in your store. Your mileage may vary, but over the next month or so, be on the lookout. Walk through your toy aisles, all that kind of stuff. The Action Alley, as it's known in the business. Todd, you knew that, of course, being a retail guy, and you're a retail guy too. A businessman, that works as well. But check out for pallets. You never know. They could be back by the tires. You never know where they might stick one of those. So be on the lookout out there if you're after some of those SummerSlam figures. I know I'm trying to get those Monday Night War figures. We'll see what ends up happening. And speak of Walmart, while we're mentioning them, the Submission 3-pack, Ken Shamrock, Bret Hitman Hart, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, an amazing 3-pack. We unboxed it months ago on the channel. It is down to $46 in a lot of stores, including mine. I just simply went in there, bought one at $46, and I bought it with a different card. I bought it with my bank card is what I did, Pro Move. And then I just went straight out and then went straight to customer service and took back my online order and got the $35 back or whatever it is. Got to get a deal, $35. That's good money back. So if you are still in the return window, just go play the game. Play the game right there. And Normally, I kind of feel bad. Not really. I really don't feel bad at all. But Walmart screws us so often on some of these pre-orders and stuff. It's like it's a little bit of their own business back. A little bit of their own medicine is what you could say. So pro tip out there. A lot of people hunting the brand new Target, LJ, and Mattel figures. I was lucky enough this week. I found numerous black card Rocks, numerous black card Roddy Pipers, one black card Jake the Snake, but no blue cards yet in my area. I don't care. I opened them up. You've seen some of the unboxings on the channel already. More to come as well. But Jelly Roll was missing. I need my Jelly Roll. Not really. Probably the least anticipated wrestling figure of all time for me. I know some people love Jelly Roll. I love Lemmy. I love Iron Maiden. I love Clutch, Judas Priest, all these other bands. I get it. I understand. You like what you like. You don't what you don't. But I will get it because I'm a completionist of the line. But it doesn't really excite me a whole lot. But Jelly Roll has been found on the West Coast, Vegas, California. Coming our way very soon. A 2-in-1 figure or 2 fan bases in one. You'll get the WWE fans that'll pick that up, and then you got your Jelly Roll army out there. The Jelly Rolls, I don't know what they call the Jelly Roll fan base, but you have an opportunity on that very, very soon. And more Jelly Roll here just in a second. Also, where there's smoke, there's fire. Could we have Lawrence Taylor? Yes, Lawrence Taylor from WrestleMania fame. That's where most people know. I don't know if he did anything else outside of WrestleMania, but he took on Bam Bam Bigelow, the Beast from the East. You're exactly right, Todd McFarlane, one of the all-time great big men. But rumors are swirling, maybe I'm starting them, I don't know. But Lawrence Taylor is hitting the Topps trading card circuit there in WWE. So there's some kind of an agreement there where there's smoke, there's fire. Could we possibly see some form of a Legends deal, a Cyndi Lauper deal? I don't know if that's classified as a Legends deal or what. But I could see it happening. I can't imagine LT wanting to turn down some money for a figure. So we'll see what ends up happening. Who knows? Could be a year from now. What's the date? Todd, add that to the to-do list. What's the anniversary of that Bam Bam match? They might do that like a year from now or something. Something to take note of if you're starting to get some WWE product with Lawrence Taylor. Doesn't always mean action figures, but you never know. Where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes. So be on the lookout for that. Now we head over to our friends Ringside Collectibles. As I said, they got a big 4th of July sale going on. Use code Kyle, save 10% as usual. New Jack, Cactus Jack. Of course, the Battle of the Jakks in the defining moments. 2 ECW staples once upon a time. Pre-orders went up this week, and we got plenty of Ringside pre-orders this week. So very cool to see those. I believe August ship date on those. That's going to be a quick turnaround for that. Elite 128, I told you we'd talk about jelly rolls. And if I had to get a jelly donut, I would like raspberry filled, Todd McFarlane. You're a white cream filled guy. Of course you are. I can't imagine you beat anything else there. But Jelly Roll is coming in Elite 128. We got R-Truth. We got JC Jane, first time in the Elite line. Tonga Loa, first time in the Elite line. Seth Rollins, first time? No, not first time. First time in the Elite line? No, probably not. Same thing for Randy Orton, but Elite 128 around the corner. We saw brand new top picks of Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes up for pre-order. Playing all the hits with those two. A lot of figures of those two over the last couple of years, as we know. First wave of top picks 2027. Looks like we're going to get that red Penta back out there. Makes sense. Been flying off the shelf, as we do know. And then John Cena in a different one of his gears. Very fun. I think you keep the John Cenas and all these top pick line, greatest hits lines, maybe 3-pack lines, stuff like that, outside of the traditional lines. That's just for me. So I do like John Cena being over there as well. First top pick set of 2027. We saw from the vault, very fitting this week. On Thursday, I did my top 10 patriotic wrestling figures of all time. And I did have this guy, Mr. America, on that list. And then I filmed the video. I was editing, finishing the touches. And then what do I see? Ringside announced from the vault, which I just mentioned in that video. So I had to do a whoa, stop the clock on that. But very cool to get Mr. America. I have to imagine they'll have the better tan on that one. So I can't wait for that Mr. America figure. Triple H in suit. Is that a re-release of the Target exclusive Evolution pack? I believe that's what that was. Brock Lesnar, not sure. There's a lot of different looks they can dive into from that one. And then my buddy, old Trick Williams. We're going to whoop that Trick. They're probably going to get that first Elite back out there. Been a big Trick fan around here and Obafemi fan around here for a long time. I was very excited when they got their first figures, and they kind of blew by pretty quick. Now very expensive on the aftermarket. Mattel at the end of the day, NECA, Hasbro, all these companies, it's about the money. We do know that. Is there anything more American, Todd McFarlane, talking to a Canadian over there, than the money, of course? America 250, July 4th, it's about the money. We're all Ted DiBiase's in America is what we are, apparently. Who knows? But we got those coming to the Ringside Vault line. Going to be interesting to see finished images of those very soon. We got Ultimates around the corner. We knew most of these. Actually, I think we knew all 3 of these. CM Punk returns to the Ultimate line. Liv Morgan, first time in the Ultimate line there. That'll be fun to see. And then one that is definitely due, Sheamus. Sheamus, we've had a lot of figures of. Definitely years ago, a lot more. Very plain, but not plain at the same time. He's got the fiery orange hair. He's got the very pale skin tone. But I don't know if it transcends into action figures a lot, but we're going to get an Ultimate Sheamus. Good to see that coming. I think he deserves at least one Ultimate before things are said and done. Then we're diving into the main event series, 168, Blake Monroe. Unfortunately, I missed out on that. Those pesky meetings getting in the way of a lot of stuff for me lately. But I did miss out on 168, Blake Monroe. We got Cody Rhodes coming back to the main event line. JC Mateo, pour one out for JC. Seth Rollins, no stranger. And then we got Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It'll be very interesting to see what this Hacksaw Jim Duggan is. I wonder if they would re-release the face paint one, or could this be late in the career Hacksaw Jim Duggan where he's got kind of the basketball shorts? I think that would be kind of cool to see. I'd be here for that. We'll see where it ends up going, but main event 168. And then main event 169, we literally talked about this just last week. A lot of people saying it was leaked listings. Not really leaked listing, as it did solicit to the Ringsides, the Entertainment Earths, the Jay's Toys and Games, and all the places in between, or whatever, Targets, Walmart, I'm sure. But 169 around the corner with Demolition, The Rock, Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 7 edition, and Rhea Ripley. Very excited for that line there. I can't wait to dive into some of those. And then we got some main event showdowns. We got Roman and Solo from Series 29, LA Knight, CM Punk, and Alexa and Charlotte Flair. That could be the one to pick up out of Series 29 there. But a lot of stuff up for pre-order from Ringside. And I have to imagine, putting the old crystal ball out there, we'll probably see all of these things at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, San Diego Comic-Con is going to be very interesting. A lot of people, and I think no matter what you do, people are always underwhelmed, it seems like. Be it WrestleMania, be it San Diego, I thought I'd see more. It's just the way it goes from time to time. But I'm sure we'll see all of these. We'll see some other recent product just coming out right now or in the last month or so. We'll see a few sneak peeks. I'm hoping we'll see the render reveals. I'm sure that's where it's going to be at the panel. That's really going to be the meat and potatoes of the news as far as San Diego Comic-Con does when they do their panel there and they show everything on the screens. That's going to be the big news from it. But this is the stuff we'll probably end up seeing a lot of this stuff in the cases. We'll see a few things as well. Wouldn't be shocked to see some future LJNs, the CM Punk, the Jey Usos, maybe that Jim Neidhart, Pat McAfee that's been floating around. I could see finished versions of those. But just temper your expectations a little bit, because I think a lot of people are thinking we're going to see the whole world. I think some people think Macho Man Randy Savage is going to walk out in full regalia, and maybe they don't know he's dead. I'm not sure, but you just got to watch the expectations a little bit. But who knows? We could have some really big announcements. Was it San Diego Comic-Con or WrestleMania like 15 years ago when Macho Man was announced? Could we see an announcement of the Macho Man? We've talked about it the last couple of weeks, putting the conspiracy Jesse Ventura hat. Skull cap, maybe. Talking about Macho Man, sales on Macho Man, people getting things out there, 20% off all Macho Man merchandise. Could he be having a Legends deal? Could he be returning to the fold? We'll see what ends up happening there. I know a lot of people are hoping that Ultimate Edition would just get re-released. I believe those were all destroyed, unfortunately, is what I've been told. Told, Todd? Maybe. So we'll see. So a lot going on, WWE Mattel, a lot going on from Ringside this week. But we're not done with the wrestling news. Oh, yeah, we got Power Town, but not yet. Hold on, Todd. Just sit over there and edge on the couch a little bit is what we're going to do. But we're going to dive into Mick Foley, July 1st, officially a free agent, or at least free of his WWE Legends deal. I guess, I don't know how that works because he was on AEW like a month or so ago. Anyways, he did post a message saying, thanks for his time. Thank you, WWE, on New Horizons with AEW. And basically saying we're going to have some other figures. We know he's going to have a big rubber guy of Cactus Jack. I'm shocked July 1st we didn't get a render reveal or a pre-order going up. I could see that coming very soon. We'll see what happens there. But you know they've had to have been working on that in the background. I gotta imagine. Have to imagine Heels and Faces, Zombie Sailor Toys also working on Mick Foley, Cactus Jack. Be very interested to see what kind of gimmicks. I think for the most part, you're just stuck with Cactus Jack or Mick Foley. Have to imagine people could do a Mick Foley Santa. I could see a big rubber guy, traditional Santa coming out, plus a variant of Cactus Jack, Mick Foley as Santa. I could see that easily. But we're going to definitely see a lot of Mick Foley stuff, which is great. Mick, one of my favorites, especially Cactus Jack, my favorite persona of the three faces of Foley. Have to imagine we're going to be eating good in the neighborhood like a young Applebee's, Todd McFarlane. We'll see what happens there. A little controversy, and as they say, controversy creates cash every once in a while, or at least. We did have the Sting Big Rubber Guy, July 3rd, went up at, I think it was 10 a.m. my time. One of 1,250, only 1,200 basically of this Sting figure in his Great American Bash attire color scheme. Perfect for the 4th of July. FOMO setting in already. Sold out within 20 minutes. And Todd, I had an extremely late night last night. I'm going to save it for the podcast. Nobody cares in this toy news about it. But I didn't get up till 9 a.m. 9 a.m. around these parts. I don't think I've slept in till 9 a.m. in like 5 years plus, probably. But when you go to bed at like 3:30 in the morning, that's kind of what happens. And I didn't have to work today. Fingers crossed, the day is not over, Todd. But I just actually woke up, grabbed my phone, went in, did one of these in the mirror, put my contacts in, started brushing my teeth, hit my phone, and then I turned on Facebook and I saw it was posted. I was like, okay, I'll go over to Collect Major. Went to Collect Major, bought 2 of them, checked out. I was all good. And then the next post, it was Canic in one of the groups. Sting's almost sold out, and apparently Sting sold out in 20 minutes. I got my 2. I was very lucky I got up when I did, or else I would have missed out on this Sting figure. You know me, I'm a little stinger. I'm still a little stinger. Sting just last year called me a little stinger. I'll forever be a little stinger to Sting, of course, as we know. But I did get 2 of those. A lot of people worked up. It's just one of those things. You make too many, people are worked up. You make too few, people are worked up. I'm not sure if there was limits. I don't think there was limits on this one. That would be a mistake, of course. Limit 2 seems fair. I think that's a fair one because if you're a true collector, you maybe are buying 1 on mint on card, 1 to open up. I think 2 is fair. I would never do a limit 5 or things like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. But we'll see what ends up happening. You guys know the name of the game. Get the most out of your molds. We got the orange one. We got the blue one. Wouldn't be shocked for like a yellow one and different colors in the future as well. But we'll see what happens. When these release in October, I'm sure they'll sky high. They're already sky high on eBay, selling for sky high. They'll go sky high, but there's a lot of people buying these to flip them, of course. So you'll have some people be stuck with them. The price will come down. Patience is a virtue. It's tough. It's tough for sure. And I also wouldn't be shocked if Collect Major says, oh, we found 5 more. We had 10 that were damaged. We had cancellations or whatever. And maybe they'll put some more out in the future. We'll see what happens there. So stay tuned to it. Follow them on their social medias and all that kind of stuff. But not to be outdone in the 4th of July fiascos this week. Zombie Sailor Toys, Macho Man, once again, 1 of 1,000 shipping in December, Macho Man Patriotic Edition. Perfect, 'tis the season here. Would have been nice to have it for the season. It feels weird getting USA Macho Man in December, but it is what it is. Head over to Zombie Sailor if you're after that one there. And the hits keep on coming with the patriotic figures. KWK 1 of 100 Sam Adonis, Corey Graves' brother, getting another figure from KWK. It is 1 of 100. Perfect for, of course, the 4th of July America 250. We also saw this week, speaking of KWK, images of their 6 O-Ring heroes. Yep, the O-Ring, Todd. Once again, Todd loves good O-Ring, as we know. But we got the O-Ring heroes there. We got the exclusive versions, the regular editions. I have seen, now you guys know I'm in a lot of G.I. Joe Facebook groups and other things like that. I've seen some people chirping outside of wrestling about these, so that should be pretty fun. That's good for KWK, getting some crossover sales into the G.I. Joe 3 3/4 community, plus hopefully the wrestling community. So be very interested to see how these end up netting out. I never got the Jakks version, the Micro Brawlers or whatever, not the Micro Brawlers, the Build and Brawls or whatever they were. I always wanted to get the Sergeant Slaughter. I never pulled the trigger for whatever reason. But those were very fun and very good looking. Be interested to see how well these do. We knew the Pro Wrestling Tees ones were an absolute disaster for all intents and purposes. I never even picked up any of those. I just could tell they didn't look that hot for me. Just not something I needed in my collection. These are interesting. Being a Joe guy, I'd like to run these through their paces. So we'll see what ends up happening. But it's not going to be my main collection, that's sure. For sure, I'm not looking to dive into new form lines too hard. Too hard, soft, gentle, Todd, that's for sure. But we continue on with more holiday stuff. Of course, it is 4th of July weekend, so everybody making the money while they can. We did see Matt Maniacs, Sergeant Slaughter, Hacksaw Jim Duggan 2-pack. Perfect release for this time of year. So we got that up there over, of course, Nerd Closet. Be interesting. Matt Maniacs will be there at WrestleCon. I am still on the fence on WrestleCon. The week of SummerSlam, I am actually in St. Louis for the week. You can catch me in the suites. The suites, the big time, Todd. I got a work meeting all week, and then we're one of the big sponsors of the St. Louis Cardinals. So I'm getting taken up into the suites, and we'll have all the food and all that stuff. So if you're there, I'll slip you a hot dog over there or something or a hamburger, maybe a cold beverage. I'll slip you over the rail or whatever outside of the suites. But Cubs Cardinals, I'll be there at the end of July for that. And then I got to put together a 3-hour presentation. Who wants to listen to me talk for 3 hours? Maybe I might film it with my phone. I'll film that presentation and I'll post it as a Patreon exclusive. People would be riveted to that. I think the subscriber base would move beyond 500 up to the thousands in the Patreon. We'll see what ends up happening, but check all that out. But I will be down there in St. Louis. I got to get an Emo's Pizza, hopefully that Tuesday night. And then I think, was it Time Warp Toys, something like that? Maybe I'll go to that stop. I'm going to try to get in there. We'll see what ends up happening. I'm rambling here, but going home from St. Louis, I have to go through Springfield, Illinois for a work thing real quick on my way home. And then I just saw yesterday Cody Rhodes is coming to Springfield, Illinois at the Walmart from 2 to 4. Cody and me, maybe I'll DM him. I don't know. Cody and I good friends, but I feel weird. Asking people for stuff. And that's the whole thing I get into in my podcast this week. But Cody's there, and then I head back home, and then I sleep, and I wake up early. I film toy news and weekly purchases, maybe. And then do I head to Minnesota for WrestleCon and SummerSlam weekend? I don't know if I got it in me. That's a long week. No rest for the wicked, of course, but I'm tempted. I would like to go to WrestleCon. Ms. Maurice is there. Todd McFarland, did I tell you about this? I forgot to tell you about it. We'll fill you in later. Maurice, my hall pass, of course, Maurice. She's there. Now's the time. Now's the time, right? Now's the time. But Maurice is there. I got to get a picture with Maurice. How great would that be? I'd also like to meet good friend of the channel, great friend of the channel, Andre Chase, of course, of Chase U, formerly Chase U Forever. Good friend Andre Chase. We're going to do something together. Andre and me, we're going to do something together. So we'll see. Maybe go do some of that. We'll see what else is going on at WrestleCon. Demolition's there. All the hits being played up there in Minnesota. So we'll see where it all ends up going, I guess, long story short. But I would like to get up there to WrestleCon. But Matt Maniacs will be there with the Paul Ellering exclusive. Long way to get there. Long way to get there, as you guys know. Keep the hits coming. How about Grapplers and Gimmicks this week? Not to be outdone. 1 of 500 Sergeant Slaughter available right now over there at Grapplers and Gimmicks. Pick that up if you need it in your collection. Brooklyn Brawler coming soon to their retro line. Very cool to see that as well. And then last thing for these retro companies, 2 last things, I guess. Latoony teasing a new toy line. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Could it be Wrestling Buddies, Latoony style? That's kind of what the little announcement looked like. That was the first thing I thought of. And they talked about a former designer coming back. I said, well, Ron Rudat's deep in the trenches right now doing pictures for a lot of people. So I don't think it's him. Maybe it's Stephanie Iskander. I think that was her name, for Wrestling Buddies. That was what my brain told me at first. We'll see if that comes to fruition more very soon, I have to imagine. And then I got Legends of the Ring figures from Epic Toys. Some kind of an announcement there. As of filming, they haven't shown anything. Depending if they do, maybe I'll put the actual picture up and I'll be talking about something I don't even know what I'm talking about because I haven't seen it at this time. Time travel's a tough thing. I haven't mastered it quite yet. But something coming from Epic Toys. Hopefully I get those Nasty Boys. I ordered those like last weekend. Haven't even got shipping notice. So I don't know if those are in stock or not. We'll see what ends up happening. But I did order both those Nasty Boys figures. So there it is. That's a lot of toy news. That's a lot of wrestling news. And this is only one page. We got a whole other page of news to talk about. But that is the wrestling news this week. Wait, you're exactly right, Todd McFarland. You can't have a week go by without the Power Town update.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering?
All right, it's time for the Power Town update. And of course, you guys, I'm sure you watched the toy news last week. I'm shocked the amount of people that missed out on the toy news last week. I've seen a lot of posts, where's Power Town this week in Facebook groups? I'm like, didn't you see last week? I updated everybody. The Power Town team, Steve and Denny, they have taken 2 weeks off. They've been burning the candlelight. They've been working to the bone. They've literally worked their hands to the bones on these Power Town figures. China, back and forth all over the place, trying to get things figured out. And they said, with peace and love, like a young Ringo Starr, we're taking 2 weeks off for the holiday. Well, last week was the first week. This is the second week off. But in a huge plot twist, Todd McFarland, you're not going to believe this. The news never sleeps. I got spies everywhere, all over the world, not just in my neighborhood. I got them all over the world is what I got, these spies. And good brother, good friend of the channel, longtime supporter of the channel, Mark Reed. Yes, A1's Mark Reed. Shout out to A1. If you don't know about the A1, it's not just for steak sauce anymore, as we do know, Todd McFarland. But Mark Reed came in hot this week. He said, hey, buddy, I got something. And Mark was actually in Ibiza. Beautiful this time of year, Todd. Beautiful. Way better than that Northern Michigan cabin we were at that one time, back in the America 200 celebration. Ibiza, beautiful this time of year. And Mark was just jet setting across the world, as one does, of course. And he was up there and he was on like one of those pleasure cruises, not that kind of pleasure cruise, but a pleasure cruise. A lot of gray hairs there. I think Mark said, what did I get myself into here? I'm a little young for this place, but he said, well, I'm here. I might as well fit in. And naturally, he starts filming some things. Next thing you know, he's shooting off text messages to me. You're not going to believe who is on this pleasure cruise with me, Todd McFarlane. It was, of course, Steve and Denny on a little getaway. I'm not sure what kind of getaway those two are on in Ibiza on this pleasure cruise boat. I'm not exactly sure, but they were cutting a rug like you wouldn't believe. And we are very thankful. A good friend, Mark, sent us a little videotape to check it out.
I'm working for an hourly wage. I went to high school, didn't do great. Still, I gotta make more cash. More education is what I'm looking at. When I get a degree, I will make a bigger salary. So now I've got to see which college is right for me. I went on the internet and found Education Connection. I took some free tests to find out my direction. I'm taking my classes online, getting my degree on my own time. Education Connection matched me with the right college for free. Get connected for free, free with Education Connection. Get connected for free, free with Education Connection.
Oh man, did you see Denny breaking it down? He shaved his head. I saw that, but breaking it down to those, what are those, Janko jeans or whatever? It reminded me of Hulk Hogan back in the day. But man, those wild jeans, man, those sick dance moves there. Mark was lucky to keep sitting down. I know Mark is quite the dancer. He can move. I've seen him. But he couldn't hold a candle to Steve and Denny on that dance floor. That night, they owned it. They owned it. You could see Steve back there with those red socks. Just a power move. A power move in Ibiza. That's what they're doing. Representing the 4th of July. But you think if they were very American, they'd have that over in like northern Michigan, like you and me did 50 years ago, Todd McFarlane. Wild time out there for Steve and Denny. I'm sure next week, though, they'll be hard at work once again getting us these Power Town figures. Man, you can't rush perfection. That's what they say. You can't rush perfection. But thanks to a good friend of the channel, Mark, out there. Follow him on Instagram. Tell him Kyle sent you. All that kind of fun stuff. But interesting time in the old Power Town camp this week for America 250. How about that? But we're not done. As Jerry Reed always says. And you're exactly right, Todd McFarlane. There's nobody more American than Jerry Reed, as we know. And Jerry Reed's salt of the earth. We miss him every day. The Snowman. And you've been known as the Snowman a time or two as well, if you can catch my drift over there. But we continue on with another very American thing. We're going to talk little G.I. Joe. Yo-Joe June left us with a little bit of a squelch, maybe a whimper. Whimper? Yeah, sure, why not? It wasn't the most exciting Yo-Joe June, but some cool stuff and some cool figures which we've unboxed on the channel. Check out the reviews along the way. But Yo-Joe June may be over, but the Joe talk is not. Danny McBride. Yes, Danny McBride. And you told me about a time you and Danny hung out. Oh, East Side and Down. You were on set for that. They were using some Spawn figures in the background, and you personally delivered them. It's a wild time. We should do a Patreon episode on that, maybe, Todd. But Danny McBride, of course, legendary actor, as we do know. Righteous Gemstone, Eastbound and Down, was at Vice Principals. I'm a big Danny McBride fan. I enjoy his comedy. I enjoy his work. Apparently, he's a little Joe kid like me. He was all into the Joes as a kid, and apparently he has written a script for a G.I. Joe movie. Now, he should have contacted me. I could have helped him with this. It would have been the greatest G.I. Joe movie. If you've watched my G.I. Joe reviews, you know exactly how this story would go. It'd be a little bit of espionage, counterterrorism. All the big players would be there, and there'd be a lot of truth spoken about, and you know what those truths are. We might have to protect some names, and maybe, but it would have been the greatest movie of all time. And now that I'm talking out loud, who's stopping me from doing a screenplay? Nobody's stopping me. I can do it if I want to. I got a pen. I got paper. I can do it. I got a computer too, even a laptop, a Mac. Yes, maybe I'll put together my great G.I. Joe script movie. I've done it before. Have you guys know, and I'm sure you guys all do know, I'm one class away from a minor film. You don't think I've made some scripts in my day? Maybe it's time for me to do the G.I. Joe movie script. It very well could be. I might have to do it. And now I'm thinking, I'm just rattling right now. We could do like a script walkthrough here. I get good friend of the channel, Gage Octane, who of course has played Shipwreck in G.I. Joe fan movies in the past. So maybe he relives the Shipwreck role. We'll see. I think there's bigger roles for him, but we'll see what he wants to do. Have my wife, Angie. She could be somebody. Maybe I'll be Flint and she could be Lady J. That could work. Todd, naturally, you would be Duke, of course. You'd have to play that. You'd do a perfect Duke, as we know. We'll see. Maybe we do a table read. Maybe we do that. We'll get good friend of the channel, Jeff George, in here. He could be rock and roll. Get my dad in. He does a perfect Destro. It'd be amazing. I don't know. My kids could be in it. Maybe they could be Tomax and Zaymot. I don't know what they could do. we'll see what ends up happening. We got dogs around here that could be Junkyard, and we could be Law and Order. We could do all kinds of stuff. So we'll see where that goes. But Danny McBride's probably going to beat me to the script and probably beat me to the movie as well. But he said he's going to do it. It's going to cover Duke leading the team. So right then, you lost half your audience. Unfortunately, there's going to be all these Joe fans like, this isn't a real Joe movie. Duke is the leader, his team. But it sounds like there's going to be some mind control stuff in Springfield, which really feels like their dusting over thing is what they're going to do is Duke's going to do all of his heinous things that we talk about on the channel all the time. And they're going to try to whitewash it all, but saying, well, he was under mind control, so it's okay. It's okay he did all that stuff. Sounds like that's where that one's going. But I do love Danny McBride, and in all seriousness, I hope a Joe movie comes out. Joe movies have been pretty rough. I have still not even seen the Snake Eyes movie, so that tells you something. But they've been pretty rough. I want Danny McBride to do it, but I don't at the same time because I don't want humor elements in my Joes. The He-Man movie, I like the He-Man movie, but I don't know if I want something like that G.I. Joe. I don't want uber, like over the top, just straight up Army Man movie. I don't want that. I want some hallmarks of the past cartoon and comics, but I don't want it to get too goofy where Danny McBride could go. I love it when he does it in other stuff, but the G.I. Joe property, I don't necessarily want some of that kind of stuff where they're really like making fun of the Joes. And I feel like him doing this might be more of that, but he is a lifelong Joe guy apparently, so I'm going to take him at his word, Todd McFarlane. That's all I can do. Until they turn me wrong, got to take him at his word. So we'll see where that ends up going. Very interested to find out the future of the G.I. Joe movie franchise. So more to come on that, I'm sure. Larry Hama, Figure Big Bad Workshop, talked about it last week. We've got official glamour shot this week, a render reveal. He's going to come with a guitar. He's going to rock out some tasty licks, apparently, along the way. Maybe play some Boston. You never know, Todd. He could. But we got that coming. I will be a day one buyer on that. I got the 3 3/4 version back in the day as well. Speaking of He-Man, I just mentioned him. How about we talk a little Masters of the Universe? Date Night Skeletor announced this week officially. We saw some images. Could this be a Creations exclusive? Could it be a secondary San Diego exclusive? We'll see what happens. We did do a special toy news video on Monday this week. You might have missed it. Go back and check it. There was so much toy news. We popped out another one. Jim Bro Skeletor is coming to San Diego Comic-Con. We saw more official images and the official announcement this week for that. We also saw this week Powers of Grayskull Toraton, a big bull, a Taurus maybe, but we got him coming there. And as I always say, you don't ride a Minotaur and you don't fight a Centaur. Or is it the other way around? You don't ride a Centaur and you don't fight a Minotaur. That's exactly what. Words to live by, of course. But we got a big old Minotaur. Now I got myself confused. Coming around the corner from, of course, Mattel Creations. Get your collar ready to get into Club Grayskull. You guys know the drill by now. Little Marvel Legends this week. Apparently Dwight from the Marvel team is over there in Europe. Maybe he's backpacking his way to Ibiza with Steve and Denny and the boys. We'll see what happens. But he did post a little picture that it was a little Easter egg, possibly, that we're getting a Gargantos in pink. We had the green version, part of the game reverse. Now we're going to get the pink version, Player 2 version. I don't know. It's a fun figure, fun for it is. Takes up a lot of real estate. Not sure if we necessarily need a pink one, especially this soon. We'll see what ends up happening more in the future there. But more at San Diego Comic-Con, some exclusives, more trying to trickle out here. We did see Mondo. It looks like an X-Men 97, possibly Deadpool. That's going to be a hefty seller, I have to imagine. We also saw Raphael in Disguise, it looks like will be around the corner. So San Diego Comic-Con, lighten up. And unfortunately, I will not be there this year. I got too much work to do. I talked about St. Louis, all this stuff. I am unfortunately the busiest I've ever been in my entire life. I've never been more busy in my entire life than I am right now. I'm not really sleeping. I'm working around the clock. Something's got to give. And hopefully it's not my heart, Todd, because I got to give it all to you later. Maybe not. But those are coming from Mondo, San Diego Comic-Con. We talked about the Panther and Skeletor last week. We'll see what goes on in the next couple of weeks as we're dangerously close to San Diego Comic-Con, like 20 days away or something like that. Big Bad Toy Store, once again, translucent San Diego Comic-Con exclusive of the Tik. My dad, a massive Tik fan, so I feel like I need to track down one of these for me and my dad. We'll see what happens there. Star Wars, we don't talk a lot of Black Series around here anymore. Star Wars lost their way a few years ago for me. I sold my entire collection. I just did not play in the hits I wanted, going in the directions I didn't want to go into. Still some fun stuff every once in a while, but it's just my passion just burned out. It burned out, unfortunately. I hate it. Leave the memories alone, something like that. But you're going to give me an Admiral Akbar repaint. You got my ears. Mon Calamari in Halloween. I'm here for this. I'll pick this up if I see this in stores. Be a great Halloween display in my collection. You had me at Akbar. You had me at Akbar. We also saw Mythic Legion's Ringmaster coming to San Diego Comic-Con as an exclusive. Basically, they're snake mold with a robe, ready to do some karate poses. If you're into the karate game, you get the snake karate fighter there. That looked pretty darn cool, I did think. We also saw Super 7. Don't talk a ton of Super 7 Ultimates. It's been pretty quiet for the most part. But we got a new round of Silverhawks. We got Poker Face, of course, named after Lady Gaga, or was it the other way around? I think it could have been. We saw Poker Face. We saw Yes Man, of course, Todd the Yes Man, the ultimate Yes Man to me, of course, as we know. And then the return of that no good, dastardly Copper Kid. Oh my gosh, from the planet of the mimes. Can't handle him. Can't handle that Copper Kid. But we got him coming from Super 7 Ultimates there. But you guys know there's a lot of toy news this week. And as Rob Halford always says,
Message from Rob Halford of Judas Priest.
Step on the red, cross on the green, never take a ride in a stranger's machine, and always make sure you're burning on turbo power.
let's close up shop on this 4th of July edition of the toy news. You guys got better things to do, maybe sitting by the pool. My wife's out in the pool right now. A year ago, she broke the internet, dropped 2 big bombs that nobody knew were existed. It's a wild thing, but here we are. But my wife's out in the pool. I'm sure the dogs are out there as well. You never know what's going on. Fireworks going off, and I'm sure you got things to get to, the pool to get to, maybe our bratwurst. Who knows? Who knows? Todd's got some brats on his mind. Jalapeno cheddar? Not bad, not bad. But we got some more news to talk about. How about a little NECA? How about a little Fortnite? We talked about it in the toy news on Monday. We saw Michael Myers recently. Well, we got Saw and Leatherface coming to Fortnite. I don't know what to think about that. Leatherface, I'm a big Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy. That's playing all the hits for me, so I might pick that one up. Saw is a pass. I enjoy the Saw movies, but not enough to dive into the figures. And then Michael Myers, I don't know, looks too toony terror for me, but I'll probably pick up Leatherface. We also saw Leonardo and Raphael, and at first when I saw it, I was like, nope. But man, something about these I like. They're like almost human-like turtles, which is a little creepy at the same time, but they look different from anything else I have in my collection. So I may end up getting just the 4 turtles. We'll see what happens in the future. But we saw those. But speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, speaking of NECA, and speaking earlier of Entertainment Earth, link in the description down below, tons and tons and tons of NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle product flooding Entertainment Earth, flooding a lot of discount stores, and flooding a lot of Target stores right now. Now, nothing officially has been said. Maybe we'll hear some of the San Diego Comic-Con, maybe we won't. But will the NECA license for Turtles be coming to an end at the end of the year? We know Mattel has the master license. They could immediately wipe the marketplace of everything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, have it just under the Mattel brand. You can only get Turtles from Mattel. It would upset some people, but it would also drive money to Mattel. Obviously, it's a money game, as we know. And then maybe 2 years down the road, 3 years, 5 years, they say, okay, you guys can do this. We'll license this out. We'll license that out. Could we see a great Turtle reset coming? Very interesting times for Turtle fans, but something's going on. All these former exclusives to Target and other places that are all being dumped to Entertainment Earth. It feels like they're needing to clean out all this product. They're not trying to get the most out of their license before they possibly don't have it anymore. We've talked the last few weeks about the Turtle Van, the Portal Generator coming back out there. Something's a fishy out there. We'll see what ends up happening. I hope it doesn't end, but sometimes it's nice to have a bookshelf chapter, but at the same time, you hate to start over something new. I don't know where it goes from there. There's only so much room in our collections, and I'd hate to dump my old collection to start anew. We'll see what ends up happening very soon. And the last thing from NECA this week, once again, getting the most out of their molds, getting the most out of their property, making things up, I guess, at this point. We got Leatherface Christmas Edition. I don't know what to say about it, but sign me up. I'm sold. I don't know, part of the Christmas display, I guess, but feels a little bit of a stretch, honestly. But speaking of stretching, Todd McFarlane from the couch, McFarlane Toys, very quiet for McFarlane. I know you've been pushing those pins. The pins just aren't in with me, but Todd's been pushing some pins. If you're into them, head over to McFarlane Toys, of course. Biggest news this week was Spider-Man Brand New Day statue figures. So he announced those this week, and then I was just literally in Kansas City like 12 hours ago. I was at a fine Walmart. I think it was in Independence, or maybe Blue Springs. I think it might have been there. Check out my toy hunt video coming soon to the channel, probably next week sometime. But I did see all those in the Kansas City Walmart already. So they're out there if you're after them. But besides that, pretty quiet in the McFarlane front. And you let everybody have time off for the 4th of July. That's what I figured. He pulled the power town is what he did. But that is it. That is the toy news this week. A lot going down. As I said, a supersized edition for the 4th of July here. We do it big around these parts. Should have some fireworks going off in the background or something like that. But it was a big week of the toy news. What were you interested in? What were you excited for? What do you think about some of this stuff? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video as well. Always helps the channel when you give it the old thumbs up. It's easy to do. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, dangerously close to 60,000. When we hit 60,000, we'll have to do a good giveaway. So let's get to 60,000 subscribers. We'll do some kind of giveaway. Tell a friend. Go into your kids and subscribe for your kids. They need to see some stuff. They need to see my wife coming from the pool is what they need to see. Maybe, maybe not. But subscribe to the channels, I should say. 2 channels with content every day. Kyle Peterson 2.0 Sleeper channel over there. Sleeper videos, of course, each and every day over there as well. Check out Patreon. Check out YouTube channel memberships. The best way to support the channel. Check out Pro Wrestling Tees. Pick up a shirt. 20% off. Now is the time, of course. Check out SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which is the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available wherever podcasts are found with videocast on YouTube. And of course, so don't forget my books, The Complete Guide to the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Class Superstar Series, both available right now at Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. And so for an America 250 4th of July toy news, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling into a holiday weekend.
It's after midnight. People are trying to sleep. Stop. Stop it.